Hey everyone, it's the one and only magnificent bird, Beak, speaking to you today. And in today's video, I am back at it with another spoiler review. And this spoiler review will be on The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, Season 3, Episode 6, titled Smuggling. That's right. This is the episode right before the finale. This coming up Sunday will be the finale of season 3. And yeah, before we get into it and talk about the episode and what happened in the episode, I do expect season 3 to end in some kind of cliffhanger, which I think by the end of this episode it's kind of like more obvious that it is going to end on it's going to end on a cliffhanger, but what kind of cliffhanger? I don't know. We will see. Before we get started, I hope all of you are doing good, staying safe out there, and like always, if you like the video, make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and if you aren't subscribed already, feel free to hit that subscribe button if you feel like it. And turn on all notifications so you know the second I upload to YouTube. And if you want to share the video, that would be great too. And if you do any of those things, that would be much appreciated. Now, I just wanted to say that I apologize that this spoiler review is going to be coming out later than it normally would, but you know, I had some stuff that I needed to get done around the house, so I wasn't able to get to it. But now, at the time of this recording, it is Monday morning, so I'm hoping that it won't take too long to upload this once I get this edited and once I start the process of uploading it. Hopefully it won't take too long, but it will be coming today on Monday, the spoiler review, and yeah, I just wanted to apologize for that. And so yeah, anyway, so if you are not caught up with the episode or the season, now is your time to go ahead and click off the video, get caught up, and then if you want to come back, that's cool. Or if you're caught up, or if you just don't give a damn about spoilers, I thank you for sticking around. And for those of you that are leaving, I appreciate your support, and I will catch you next time. So, let's go ahead and talk about, in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk about The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, Season 3, Episode 6, Smuggling, spoiler review. And yeah, so that episode, the title of Smuggling, it makes sense, as we'll get to. So, here we go. Daryl and Paz team up to rescue Justina, and Carol makes an alarming discovery in this episode. So let's get into it. So Daryl and Paz continue to Barcelona because that's right. In the last episode, I did forget to mention it, but it's fine. It ain't no big deal. Carol and Antonio had mentioned to Paz that Daryl went to Barcelona after Justina. So the episode starts with Daryl on his way to Barcelona, and Paz catches up to him. So Daryl and Paz continue to Barcelona and initiate their plan to rescue Justina. Meanwhile, Roberto's condition suddenly worsens, and once Uncle F's lies come to light, Carol and Antonio's lives are now at risk. So, yeah. So, like I was saying, yeah, this episode opens with Paz joining Daryl, which, I mean, considering that she has been wanting to rescue Mr. Gill's wife, I mean, yeah, that's not really too much of a surprise. So, we get to see Paz and Daryl for this episode try to go after Justina. Daryl's there for Justina, but Paz is there for Mr. Gill's wife, Elaine. But obviously Daryl, he doesn't know this, why she's there, right? So although he witnessed Paz's interaction with Elaine, but he doesn't know that's that's her name or the extent of their association. She just, I mean, Daryl, not she, but Daryl just knows that Paz was meeting someone in a corner. That's all he knows, but he doesn't know who. So he doesn't know her name or the association. In order to rescue Justina and Paz's friend, yeah, okay, friend. I think they were a little bit more than friends, but sure, yeah. So Paz enlists help from those who fled their community due to the festival. So there's a refugee community out there near or in Barcelona full of mostly women. I mean, they got one guy there, or at least I know they got one guy there because he's the cook or whatever. And that refugee community mostly escaped, from Alcazar, and we know a little bit more about Alcazar. There was this one girl there at the refugee community that is playing a guitar, and this I forget her name. I forget her fucking name. The one of Paz's friends that knows her from the community. She said that this girl that's playing this guitar during one scene when Paz and Daryl are there, she's explaining to them that those at Alcazar used to beat on her and all this shit, and she was lucky to escape. So yeah, if Alcazar wasn't already pieces of shit, we get more information that confirms that they're pieces of shit. So there you go. So it takes little, it takes very little it takes very little convincing for them to help out, but we all know, I mean, the lack of communication and transparency is going to ruin everything. As Mr. Gill and his wife arrive outside the city gates because they're going through this other community or these to get to another community or whatever, which I forgot the name of, but anyway. So you have Alcazar, you have Mr. Gill, you have his wife, you have the escort, then you have Justina, and then you have this other girl who are locked up in a separate vehicle. They're just waiting at these gates for these gates to open up, while their plan is to while Mr. Gill and everybody from Alcazar is sitting there waiting at the gates, their plan is to attack them from behind, right? Which, I mean, on theory, or in theory rather, in theory, that's not a terrible idea to have them blocked one way and come at them the other way, but like, yeah, um, no surprise, no surprise it doesn't exactly work out according to plan. So yeah, so what Daryl and Paz's friends, they knock out a couple of the city armed guards at the gate, and they take their, like, because like the gate, not the guards at the gate have their faces and stuff covered up so they can just easily knock them out and just like wear what they are wearing. And Mr. Gill and them don't suspect a damn thing, so they're just sitting there waiting and waiting. So not knowing none to the wiser at the moment before they attack. So in the ensuing chaos, so they hit them with this dump truck, and in the ensuing chaos of bullets flying and people dying, Daryl and Paz, they end up finding Justina and another girl locked in a cage in the back of a truck. Paz's friend, the one that her name starts with L. You know what? It doesn't matter because she fucking dies soon. But so she ends up, as they're fighting and people are dying, all that stuff, she ends up finding a rocket launcher in one of the vehicles, and she's going to shoot the rocket launcher in the vehicle that Mr. Gill is in. But the problem with that is Mr. Gill's wife is also in the car, but the friend doesn't know that, but Paz, she knows that, and she's like, no, don't do that. Elaine's in there. So as she gets ready to shoot, Paz pushes her slightly, and the rocket, instead of hitting the vehicle, it hits the wall that lets in all these walkers, which, of course, I mean, I figured that Mr. Gill wasn't going to be taken out by a character whose name that I don't even fucking remember. I was like, ain't no way. It's gonna be like Daryl or Carol that takes him out. Like, or it might even be hell, it could be Paz, it could be Justina. I don't the point is if Mr. Gill is gonna go out, it's gonna be by a character whose name that we're gonna be able to remember. You know what I mean? So moving on. So yeah, Paz's friend is blinded by her desire to kill Mr. Gill, who is next in line to be king of Spain. Right, finds a rocket launcher and prepares. Right, okay. So yeah, her friend misses the car, and the rocket hits the area. So the walkers are coming. They're pouring in from where the rocket launcher blew a hole in the wall, and now with walkers moving about, they just immediately, well, no, Mr. Gill gets a shot in on Paz's friend who shot the rocket launcher, and with that, the walkers just they pounce. They pretty much pounce. I shouldn't say pounce, but you know what I mean. While her friend is shot, they just immediately corner her friend, and yeah, that's the end of her friend. Which I mean, I remember her name starting with an L, but I don't really remember what the hell her name was. It doesn't really matter. They had to have some they had to have some red shirt characters, and well, she just happened to be the red shirt character of the episode. Like, yeah, okay. So, and the thing is, Daryl, oh my god, Daryl's having a hell of a time trying with this lock to free Justina. He's trying to bust the lock open. He's trying to pry it open with a crowbar, but then one of the guards has the keys, but for some reason he can't. I don't know if somebody, if he didn't get to all the keys in time, because there was more than just a couple of keys on this key ring that one of the guards had. He kept trying to unlock the lock with the keys, but as the walkers surround everybody, yeah, as the walkers get close, the gates open up, and yeah, so El Cazar, Mr. Gill, and those who are left, they end up having to flee. Like everybody's having to flee from the area. So yeah, that rescue mission, safe to say, was unsuccessful. So yeah, Justina is still in El Cazar's grasp. So there you go. So let's skip over to Roberto, Uncle F, Carol, Antonio. We haven't talked about them. So, meanwhile, Roberto begins to improve at first, and that's great. However, Uncle F orders his mother to have someone else treat him because before that, one of Uncle F's men says that, oh, I need to see him, tell him that I need to see him. And well, his guy, Uncle F's guy, he informs that ain't nobody been on that beach in days. And also, those three men from El Cazar that Daryl killed? Well, guess what? 4 or 5 episodes in, they finally find them in the cages with the walkers. Wow. I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about that one. Either Daryl is that intelligent, or they're just that dumb that it only took them about 4 or 5 episodes to finally find those three missing men. Maybe it's a combination of both. I don't know, but so yeah, so now Uncle F knows that Carol lied to him, and that, well, now they found the three El Cazar's men that were missing. So great job. Yeah, great job. It only took you about 4 or 5 episodes to find them. Even though they weren't, I mean, it wasn't the best hiding spot. It was kind of it was in plain sight. It was kind of obvious, but that it was pretty good. I don't know. It's like weird. It's a hiding in sight kind of obvious hiding spot. You know what I mean? So, okay, so after that, that's when Uncle F and his mother, they have a conversation, and and they're talking about this woman being pregnant in the village or whatever, and that's when Uncle F wants his mother to go look after the pregnant lady instead of looking after Roberto, because he's like, oh, I'll just send someone else to look after him. And then all of a suddenly, Roberto he just gets worse. He's got a fever all of the sudden. And they make a point of this because, as you can see in the thumbnail, we'll talk about it. They make a point of this when Roberto, he suddenly has a fever, and instead of Uncle F's mother looking after him, it's this other older woman, and they make a point to show this, that the cat, Antonio's cat, is drinking out of the he's drinking out of the cup that, I guess they put like herbal tea and stuff in the cup, and they make a point to show that the cat is drinking out of that same cup as Roberto. So just remember that for later, because it's not it doesn't end very well at all. So, okay. So with Roberto having a fever, this prompts Carol to ask for medication, aspirin. But of course, Uncle F refuses, claiming they do not have any to spare. No, you sick motherfucker. I'm sure you have enough, but no. That's not what's happening here. He wants to slowly kill Roberto. That's what's fucking going on here. But that gets revealed much later on. But yeah. So a little bit later on, this is at night, Carol is going outside, and then she looks down. That's when she discovers that Antonio's cat was poisoned. Oh, you sick motherfucker. Like, dude, it's fucked up to poison someone's child, no matter how old they are, but you have to be a special kind of sick fuck to poison someone's animal, someone's pet, dude. Like, what the fuck? Like, you motherfucker, dude. Ooh. Oh, you motherfucker. So they made a point to show the cat drinking out of the cup, by the way. And I was like, oh no. They didn't just show that for no reason. And well, there you go. The poor cat, dude. That cat was just living life. He didn't do nothing. But Uncle F, you sick motherfucker. Ooh. It'll be a pleasure. You know what? It'll be a pleasure to watch Uncle F die. Like, it will. You know what? And it would be bittersweet excuse me. Damn. It would be bittersweet to see Carol be the one to do it. I mean, I don't know if she will, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So after she finds the cat dead, that's when she becomes desperate, and Carol decides to break into Uncle F's office looking for aspirin to try to help with Roberto's fever. And that's when Uncle F's mother catches her. She's got a fucking rifle pointed at Carol, like, oh fuck, this ain't looking good. But earlier in the episode, the old horny lady Valentina gave Carol a Spanish book, like a translation, so she could start learning Spanish. And this was a funny scene, by the way. I'll just mention it while I'm talking about her. So Valentina asks Carol, have you tasted? Valentina notices Carol looking back at Antonio, because Antonio's there helping with the boat during the one scene, and that's when not Carol, but when Carol's looking back at Antonio, that's when Valentina notices Carol looking back at Antonio, and that's when she asks Carol, have you tasted the quote unquote local wine? And that's when Carol says, she kind of chuckles, and she's like, you're the worst. And Valentina, she doesn't give no fucks, because she's horny as hell. And you know what? I can respect it for her being honest about it. So anyway, that is what it is. I like Valentina, man. It'll suck if she dies, but she probably will. She just wants to be a horny old lady with the time she's got left. Like, come on. Like, just let her be. Let her do what she wants to do. Fuck. I don't, Anyway. So, now we're going to get back to Carol being caught by Uncle F's mother breaking into the cabinets, right? So, Carol, using the very little bit of Spanish she has learned, probably from the translation book from Valentina, and help from her time spent with Antonio, Carol convinces Uncle F's mother that Uncle F has been lying and had poisoned Roberto. And the old woman agrees. I was surprised she didn't try to like get a shot off on her or something. But no, the old woman just agrees to help her and gives her some aspirin, and just that's the end of that. And then also, this is before the cat like dies and stuff. This is like the same day, but it's in the middle of the day. So Carol is just outside or whatever, but Carol accidentally walks in on Antonio showering outside because there's this pipe or whatever. There's this pipe that has water like dripping out of it, and he uses it to shower. And like, oh my goodness, like both of them are embarrassed. And Antonio says that, I'm not used to company around here, and he's like, he's all nervous and shit with his words. Oh my god. And he's like, I don't know, would you want to get a shower too? And oh my god, he meant to say, would you want to get a shower too after I finish? But she had already bailed by the time he said, I meant to say after I finish. And she's assuming that he meant with them two together. Oh my god. Like that was so damn, that was kind of funny, but it was also kind of awkward. Like, holy shit, dude. You got to be a little bit more careful with your words there, Antonio. Because Carol might think you're coming on too strong. Oh my god. So, okay, so let's see. Okay, so a little bit later on, we find out a little bit more about Uncle F's and Antonio's beef against each other. So we get a little bit better of an understanding in this episode because they make it a focus. And so Antonio, he's still hesitant on leaving because Carol says once Daryl gets back with Justina, why don't you, me, Daryl, Roberto, and Justina just get the hell out of here and leave and go to America? And Antonio is like, no, I can't leave. And she's like, why not? Can't you like explain it to me? He's like, well, I can show you. So they go to his little cinema room that he has in that other little house. And well, it turns out the most shocking thing, part of the reason why Antonio doesn't want to leave, it's the fact that Antonio had never told Roberto how his mother died. It turns out that Antonio and his wife were very politically motivated. That's right, because Antonio was a part of this political group, and he really believed in the cause, because this political group, or radical group as he calls it, they just wanted their own country, pretty much. So, and the thing is, Antonio pushed his wife to join the cause, and she didn't want no part of it. Absolutely no parts of it, but he insisted. He pushed her to join, and during a time of unrest, Antonio insisted on recording a protest because there was a protest outside of a government building. And this is right before the apocalypse in Spain was getting ready to start. So yeah, Antonio pushed his wife to interview the prime minister at the time, but as the prime minister was getting in his car, the car blows up. So yeah, so Antonio's wife, along with several others, died when a planned car bomb explodes. And that's when by this point, Roberto is starting to get better, and he's more aware of his surroundings. And, Antonio is yelling that it was my fault. It was my fucking fault that she died. I pushed her and she didn't want to be part of it. And that's when Roberto walks in and he finally learns the truth of how his mother died. It's like, oh, damn. And at this point, it's like, damn, like that's something heavy that Roberto just learned. Like, Antonio tries to explain, but he just goes off. Like, at this point, just like let Roberto go. Just like let him, that's something that That's a bombshell, literally, that he never found out. And the way that he found out, it's like, I don't know. Like, yeah, Antonio made a very questionable decision by joining a radical group, as he called it, a political group that wanted to blow up the prime minister. But, well, what everybody didn't know was the apocalypse was getting ready to start. So at that time, it just happened to be very weird timing that they wanted to take out a prime minister. And then, like, well, the world is getting ready to end at the time. So, yeah. So, yeah, Roberto is watching the footage. Yeah, he learns the truth, and he's watching the footage and overhears Antonio telling Carol that it's all my fault. And what Antonio doesn't mention that the audience witnesses firsthand is that the day this happened, like I said, it's the same day as the apocalypse began in Spain, as Antonio's wife, along with those who died, reanimate. Now that Roberto was nearly killed by Uncle F, Carol thinks it's best that they remain at the boatyard until the boat is ready to leave. And Antonio still refuses to leave, but issues. Oh, God, we'll talk about it. So Antonio issues Carol with a passionate kiss right before they get ready to, but right before Carol decides to go ahead and take not Antonio but Roberto out of there. So yeah, he gives her a passionate kiss that she repeats fully. Antonio, you shouldn't have done that. So, in my opinion, why he shouldn't have done that is because Antonio just signed his death warrant. Yep. In my opinion, I mean, The Walking Dead has conditioned me to think that, yeah, when you're not a couple of Rochelle, I mean, not Rochelle, good God, I don't know where, I think I was combining Michonne and Rick. Anyway, when you're combining Rick and Michonne, I don't even know who the hell Rochelle is, but anywho, when you're not a couple of Rick and Michonne, the chances of you staying a couple or even it beginning are not good. Just ask Daryl and Isabel. How did that work out? Daryl's still alive, but unfortunately Isabella, she's been fucking dead. They're not gonna kill Carol. Man, you know what? I'm gonna just say it now. R.I.P. Antonio. It was nice knowing you, but I don't think you're making it out of season 3 alive. I I don't see it, man. Like, ooh, you shouldn't have done that. Like, yeah, I know you was feeling passionate about Carol there in the moment, but damn, dude, no way they kill Carol off. So, Antonio, goodbye. I mean, will I be wrong? I mean, there's a slight chance? I don't know though. Walking Dead has you conditioned if you're not Rick and Michonne, you as a couple, as a romantic couple, you don't really last. Either both or one of the individuals will die. So just ask Gabriel and Rosita how that worked out. Oh wait, you can't. Because, well, Rosita, she fucking died. Gabriel's the only one left. So there you go. So, as Carol gets ready to leave, because she's in this like vehicle, I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's got like a truck bed on the back of it, and she's covering Antonio. I mean, not Antonio, Roberto, rather. She's covering Roberto with a blanket, and she's got like shit to kind of just. That way, it won't be simple to just get to him. She's got shit laying all around the back of the truck, like gasoline, jerry cans, and just like different shit. And even that solar panel thing that Antonio gave to Carol. So, as Carol's getting ready to leave with Roberto hiding underneath packed items, she's stopped by Uncle F, of course, who wants to search the truck. Huh, ain't that convenient? What are you too busy? Are you too busy killing? Are you too busy? Are you, sir? Are you too busy killing cats to search the vehicle? Anyway, that man, Uncle F. You know what? I hope you get your balls ripped off, you son of a bitch. Anyway. So Uncle F and his men, they want to search the truck, and Carol, she's like, yeah, sure, you're not, sure, search the truck, that's fine. But then as they're searching the truck, she gets ready to unbuckle her hoister, and she's gonna get ready to grab her gun. So yeah, Carol is prepared to attack if necessary, but luckily for Carol and Roberto, Antonio is there to interfere, making a scene accusing Uncle F of lying to his people. Uncle F allows Carol to leave without fully checking the truck to deal with Antonio. So, whew, that was a close one, but damn, poor Antonio, dude. So yeah, he's pretty much telling people that you know, you're lying to all of these people about poisoning my son and this, that, and the other, and yeah. So the episode ends with Carol and Roberto getting the hell out of there, and most likely Uncle F and his people are going to have Antonio captured now for spilling the tea, for spilling the truth. And also throughout the episode, or throughout the season, but we get a little bit better of an understanding of so Daryl has these like nightmares or flashbacks of him as a young boy and somebody a little bit older than him, which I'm assuming is probably Merle, telling him to run and to get out of there, and we get a little bit better of an understanding of what's going on. And it seems like their father, Daryl and Merle's father, is in a drunken state, or he's on drugs, and he's like tearing up the house, and he's looking to probably beat them. And yeah, Merle's like telling Daryl, get out of here, don't worry about me, I'll take the lashings, you know assuming that's what's gonna, yeah, assuming that's probably what's gonna happen is, you know Daryl and Merle's father is probably drinking, or he's on drugs at the time, and he's looking to get his anger out. And Merle is looking out for Daryl, not wanting Daryl to get hurt any more than he already has. So Merle is willing to take 2 times the beating instead of Daryl receiving some of it too. At the time, man, right. And it's some reason he's having that memory. I don't know what it is, but he keeps having that memory, and we get a little bit more, I thought maybe at first it was Merle trying to maybe do something to Daryl, but no, that's not the case. We get a little bit better of an understanding. Indeed, it is the father who is most likely drinking or on drugs, and he's on a rampage, and he's looking to get some of that anger out, even on his own 2 kids, which is ugh, a subject that is fucked up. It is, but unfortunately it does happen in real life too, and it's a damn shame. But okay. Anyway, so we know that so we also know they're like, okay, we know why Uncle F and Antonio don't like each other, because Uncle F knows that Antonio lied to Roberto about how Roberto's mother died, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna hold this over you, and I'm gonna tell Roberto the real deal, right? But I wonder what else there's got to be more to it. Maybe can we get some kind of plot twist that, sorry, my dog is drinking water. That's what that noise is behind me, by the way. But anyway, we got to get more answers. There's got to be something more than just that. Maybe Antonio swooped in and stole her from Uncle F, or maybe, who knows, maybe Uncle F is Roberto's real father. Who fucking knows? Will they do any of that? I don't know, but that would be that would be interesting if they like pulled some shit like that Antonio swept in and stole his, Uncle F and Antonio were after the same woman, but Antonio ended up winning her heart, or the fact that maybe Uncle F got her pregnant, and that secretly Uncle F is Roberto's real father. That would be some fucking Star Wars shit right there. Like, oh my god, like the good old days of Star Wars, not the bullshit Disney is doing now. No, actual good Star Wars. But anyway, so yeah, as this episode ends, I don't see how they don't have season 3 end on some kind of cliffhanger, right? I think I think the big death for the finale is probably going to be Antonio. I'd be surprised if he makes it out of season 3 alive after kissing Carol. If you're not a couple named Michonne and Rick, you ain't got much of a chance for love. Not in The Walking Dead, you don't. I don't know. Antonio's clock might be ticking. I think it is. Now, whether if Uncle F kills him or who knows. I don't know. Should I make a predictions? I don't know if I'll make a predictions video solely or not. I got some other videos I'm planning for the week. So my prediction is that season 3 will definitely end on a cliffhanger of some kind. I'm gonna say Justina gets rescued, but I'm gonna say Antonio dies. Those are my predictions for the finale. There you go. Do I see Mr. Gill dying? I don't. I don't. Not this season. Probably next season, because they're not going nowhere. No. There's just like no, a lot of conveniences would have to happen, and they already announced a season 4. So yeah, they're not going nowhere. So my predictions: I think Justina will finally get rescued, but I think the big ultimate death of the finale will be Antonio. I'm calling it now. I've been wrong, especially when I did predictions for the Dead City finale. Oh, brother, I was wrong. I thought Dama was fucking dying. I thought Croat was dying. I thought what's his name that Negan killed? Bruegel. I thought Bruegel was gonna live, and I thought he was gonna be the main villain going forward. But oh boy, how wrong I was! Like, yeah, now Bruegel died in a pretty brutal way. Because he put that torch to Bruegel's mouth and filled his mouth full of methane and just put him out of his misery. My God. And Dama, she's still alive. Croat is still alive somewhere. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Justina getting freed and Antonio getting killed somehow. It could be Uncle F that kills him. Because, I mean, shit, he tried to kill his son. I mean, he killed the poor cat on top of that. So, yeah. Do I see Uncle F getting killed? It's possible, but I'm not like, I don't think Mr. Gill is going to get killed. If anything, more likely Uncle F gets killed than Mr. Gill does. I'll just say that, but we'll see. We'll see if any of that becomes true in the finale of season 3 of The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon. I gotta say, for this episode, I enjoyed it. Now, I think I enjoyed the other episode a little bit better, but I'll have more of a proper ranking when we get done with the season finale. Like I said, this was a little bit more. I mean, some action still happened in this episode, but it was a little bit more. It's pretty much the calm before the storm. This being the calm, and then the storm happening in the finale. Whatever that untolds, we'll see. But yeah, I don't think I have much else to say other than I thought it was a good episode, and I've enjoyed season 3 a hell of a lot more than season 2. That's for sure. And yeah, I don't think I forgot anything. If I did, I apologize. But yeah, if you guys got anything to say about the episode that I might have not touched on, feel free to let me know. Or if you have your own thoughts, definitely feel free to let me know. And that is pretty much all I got for you guys for today. I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support and for stopping by. And if you're new, welcome on in for the very first time. I'm glad to have your support and thank you for your time. I am Beak, and I'm going to go fly away back to my nest. Until next time, bye guys.